Hey, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with our fifth and final match of the Death and Taxes League up against Manic 3130. Not too sure what they're on. This hand is fine. A little bit slow, but I'm pretty happy with the amount of 2-drops we have. We have 2 basic lands, so we're going to be able to cast them pretty easily. We have a nice setup with Stoneforge and Batterskull, so this should be pretty fun. I feel like we've played Manic before, but I'm not too sure what they're on. Maybe on the draw it's obviously a little bit better to have a 1-drop, something like a Mother of Runes or an Aether Vial, or even a Swords to Plowshares for a little bit of interaction, but I think because this hand has a Thalia and Spirit against combo, and also Stoneforge for some of the fair decks, and a piece removal in the Skyclave, I'm pretty happy for that, and I have a good 3-drop, three turns to draw into my 3rd land for the Skyclave, so it works out well. Scalding Tarn. Alright. Scalding Tarn, Volk, Ponder doesn't give away too much. My opponent did not shuffle, so this could be anything from Sneak and Show to Delver. And luckily the sword's here, which is really nice. Not going to use it just yet. If this is Rug, I don't really want to get Wastelanded too early on, so I am just going to play the second basic planes here over the Port. And I think Thalia is just the best here. If it's Sneak, they probably have to force it. Doesn't play around Daze, but at least Daze should give us an idea. There are some Sneak and Show lists running around with Daze in them, but I think if I got Dazed, I would put them on Rug more than anything else. Putting them back here is also nice a little bit. Preordain, okay. Still just cantrips and some counter magic and days, so usually a Rug player would have something out earlier, and this is going to be it. Planes. That's pretty interesting. So I have the option of Swords and Port. I could just go for Skyclave. I kind of like keeping Skyclave in case they have Oko, which can be a bit of an issue, so I'm going to play the Swords first, and then follow up with the Stoneforge Mystic. Hitting my 4th land means I'm not too afraid of losing the Stoneforge here. It means next time we can play Spirit and Rishadan Port, which is nice. Hey, thanks for the follow. Someone just followed me, which is really nice. I'm actually recording this league, so Skyclave here is great because it plays around the Dazes. Doesn't play around Force, but opponent pondering. Okay, this is gonna be tough if they if we don't find an answer for it ASAP. Another land isn't really where I want to be, but, you know, they have 2 cards left. I don't mind just slamming Batterskull here. They've already used 2 Dazes. Force. Okay. There's some consideration for Spirit because it does stop all these cantrips. Maybe that's the correct play. Spirit and Port. Because even a Swords to Plowshares now on the Dreadhorde is just so bad. Uro, okay. So this is going to be like a Rug list with Uro in it. Yeah, these planes aren't doing a lot of work. I'd probably rather the Spirit first. Nothing great to exile here. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's just game. So board is interesting. We have Paths, which are good. We have Rest in Peace, which is good, and Council's Judgment. I don't mind. I don't think we need Surgical, which is great. I like taking out a Recruiter. Prelate's an interesting one. So Prelate, of course, is pretty good if you're already ahead and have used some of your swords and paths early on. But Prelate on 1 can be a little bit frustrating because if you Prelate for 1 and they already have a creature down, you're probably going to have a hard time casting your Swords to Plowshares and Path to Exiles. You're going to have to rely on Skyclaves. So I'm not a fan of Prelate, but I'm sure there are players who are. So kudos to them, but I'm just not a big fan of it. And I think here I'm just going to do a small amount of trimming. I think Thalia is still great on the play, but obviously against cards like Arcanist, it just doesn't have the pressure aspect as well as Disruption. I think this is fine. I'm also bringing in, 4 non-creature spells, so having less Thalia on board is probably a little bit better for me, not to be taxing me. This is an interesting hand that gets blown out pretty hard by Wasteland. But it does have double removal of a plains, which is kind of nice. We are on the play and we don't have a great turn 1 play, which is the biggest reason that I don't like this hand. It's also very reactive outside of Stoneforge Mystic. I'm going to mulligan once. I'm going to keep this. This is actually a pretty good hand. I'm going to keep this and bottom the Flagstones because it doesn't really ring true with the Rest in Peace. Interesting. I don't mind playing around days for the rest of my games, or rest of my turns, because I think that's pretty huge. Especially if my opponent follows up with something like a Dreadhorde or a Tarmogoyf, then having the Rest in Peace is really nice. Interesting. That means that they don't have a Bolt. Huh. I'm gonna go with Plains here because I want to cast the Rest in Peace around days, and I also want to have 3 lands in play next turn to play Flickerwisp around days. Obviously this hand didn't line up too well against a double Delver start, but we do have the Flickerwisp, which is nice. I probably wouldn't mind seeing this getting forced. They could also Stifle it if they're running Stifle, but they don't. Ponder's pretty good. Opponent has 5 cards in hand. On 20, okay. Batterskull is not the greatest draw here. Pretty easy force target, unfortunately. Taking 6 again and going to 8. The first hand would have been okay here, no Wastelands yet. And the double removal spell would have been great. But I think we're just going to get Delvered here. Not too much we could do. Maybe think more about it on the first hand, but I feel like we would have got so far behind. Yeah, Oko here's pretty good. Yep. Alright, GG's. Yeah, obviously not the league that I wanted, but yeah, I don't think there's much else we could do here, so a huge thank you to you guys for coming in and watching. My name is Zooks on Twitch. I'll be back tomorrow morning on stream at twitch.tv/Zooks on Twitch, so hopefully I'll see you there. Cheers.